guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys all the new plants that I just got in the plant shipment for the shop. In case you are new here, my name is Lex and I am the owner of plantlifelex.com, which is my online houseplant store. And here on my YouTube channel, I take you guys behind the scenes of what it's like running a plant business from home. I provide plant tips and business tips as well, and I basically just share everything planty. If you have been keeping up with the plant shop vlogs, you guys would know recently I just did place a wholesale order so I could get more plants for the shop, and they just came in yesterday. So I'm super excited to share with you guys all the new stuff that we got. I got them earlier in the day yesterday, but I was not able to unbox them until late at night. My day was just very hectic, so I apologize that we didn't get to do a live stream unboxing. So hopefully next time we can definitely do that. However, this coming Tuesday, you guys are going to see all the behind the scenes of me prepping this plant shipment for the shop update. So stay tuned for that. We did get a decent batch of plants this time around. We got about 40 plants for the shop, and I'm just going to go through them by the type of plant. So let's start with anthuriums. The first anthurium that we have is the Anthurium clarinarium. It looks like this. It has velvety leaves and it has that heart shape to it. This is actually one of my favorite anthuriums. It's very easy and it's very beginner friendly. This one in particular does have the 2 leaves, and then we have another one that has 3 leaves here. As you can see here, these plants are both in their pollen stage. I am going to hold off on selling these right away. I want them to finish producing the pollen so that I could collect it. I'm trying to get more into anthurium seeds and seedlings, so I would like to crossbreed either these two or with some other anthuriums that I have in my own collection. Currently, my luxuriance and my clarinarium is actually in the pollen stage as well. I am super excited for these guys, and they will be up on the shop probably in the next few weeks compared to the rest of the stuff. The next anthuriums I got were Anthurium dorayaki. These ones are so cute, you guys. They have that round leaf, very cute anthurium, also very easy. When I do stock anthuriums, I do try to get easier ones in case you are looking for a beginner anthurium or you're just getting into them. The dorayaki and the clarinarium are both great beginner plants, and I highly recommend them. They're so easy to take care of. So we have this one here. It did suffer a little bit of shipping damage here and sort of here, and then we have this other one here. So we have 2 in total. And this one did suffer a little bit in the shipping as well, because I do get these plants shipped to me from the wholesale greenhouse. So that is all we have for this shop update for anthuriums for this shipment. So let's move on to Hoyas. This time around, we did get a big batch of Hoyas. So this one here is the Hoya calistophylla, or castophylla, however you pronounce it. I really love these big leaves. I'm really impressed that the pots are quite full as well. And this is what it looks like up close. This one is a really easy grower as well. We also did get another one as well. So as you can see, they are the same plant, but they are growing differently. So this one is more bushier at the bottom, but it does have a runner as well that it's growing leaves too. We actually haven't had these in a while on the shop, so I'm really excited to bring it back. The next Hoyas that I got are these Hoya Sarawak. We do have 3 of them in total. The Sarawak grows really large leaves, and it's super beautiful and easy care. And this one does have 2 leaves. And then we have this Sarawak as well, which this leaf is slightly bigger than the last one. And this one also has 2 leaves too. So same plant, just growing a little bit differently. And then we also have this Hoya Sarawak here, which has a few more leaves. It has some newer leaves on the top here, that's why they look a little different. However, this one did get a bit damaged, but that's okay. I'll just have to see how this one recovers before I list it, but we will have the other 2 on the shop right away next week. The next Hoyas are these Hoya compacta variegated. They are super beautiful. I absolutely love this plant. If this plant gets a lot of light, it will sun stress into like a pink color, so it's really pretty. We did get 3 of these as well. So here is the next one. You can see kind of that pink color. And here is the last one as well. And these ones are much bigger than the last batch of Hoya compacta variegated that I got. These look so pretty when they start trailing down. You can hang it in a window or something like that. It's super beautiful. We also got in these beautiful Hoyas here as well. You can see the beautiful color here. These ones are quite bushy. I actually think that there's 3 plants in each of these pots. This is the other one here. And since I am a shop, we usually do split up the plants into their own pot. So if a plant has more than one in there, usually I do split it up so that I can make more and that I can propagate them. And doing that allows multiple people to get one, because sometimes the plants do go quick on the shop, which I'm so sorry about. but I am really trying to bring multiple. So I'm happy that these ones actually came with like 3 in a pot, because then we'll have like 6 in total. And these ones always go really fast because they are just so pretty. They also do have that pink sunstress if you give them enough light. And when these bloom, the flower is super pretty as well. The last Hoya that I have here is this Hoya finlaysonii, also known as Hoya chicken farm. Such a cute name. Here is an up close of the leaves. I did only grab one of these, and the reason I only grabbed one is because I've never brought this plant to the shop, so I wanted to see exactly what the specimens looked like before I purchase more. This one only has 2 leaves, so I'm thinking that most of the stock that they have are either 2 or 3 leaves, so now I know for next time. And if there is interest in this little chicken farm and you guys want to see it again in the next restock, just let me know and I will definitely add it to the list. That is all I have for the Hoya, so let's move on to Epipremnum. I did get 2 of these Epipremnum marbles here. I hope that you guys can see this clear enough because the leaves are very white, so the camera has a hard time picking it up, but this is such a beautiful plant. I absolutely love this plant. And then we also got this one as well. So very similar size, very similar variegation pattern as well. Now let's move on to Alocasias. Yes, you heard right, Alocasias. You guys know I suck with Alocasias, and the whole thing about owning a plant store is that somebody has to care for these plants, and that somebody would be me. So I'm trying to learn how to care for Alocasias better. If you guys have any Alocasia tips on how to grow them, please leave them in the comments because I am desperate to learn because they just do not do well with me. However, I did have a few requests for variegated Alocasia. So this time around they were offering variegated Alocasia Fridex. This is one of them here. They are tiny specimens, which honestly is good for me because I don't think I can keep a large one alive, and it does have a new leaf coming in here. So I am really excited to bring the variegated Fridex to the shop. They are quite little, so I'm not expecting there to be any corms, but I do plan on keeping one and trying to grow it out so that I can keep having corms available for the shop so that you guys can get little starter plants here and there throughout the year. While this one looks pretty good, the next one is very scary. So this is the other one. It is very, very white, and as you can tell, this top leaf here is kind of going through it. This little leaf down here is not bad. There's also a new leaf coming in. So considering how hard Alocasias are for me, the fact that this one is super variegated, which means that it can be a little bit unstable, really worries me. So I'm gonna keep this one and just see what it does. And then there will just be this one on the shop. Hopefully I can keep this one alive, you guys. So I'm gonna need those tips because I really, really love the way Alocasias look. And I wanna be able to easily grow the corms from them and always have a supply of them. It's so hard for me. I just don't understand why it's so hard to grow these for me. I'm thinking maybe to move this into semi-hydro like pond. I know a lot of you guys always recommend doing semi-hydro for them. So I'm gonna try that with this one and I'll let you guys know how it's going with this little guy. Moving on to the next set of plants. These are plants that I've never brought to the shop before and I'm very happy to be able to do so. This plant right here is called a Cereus mirabilis. I have one of these in my collection, which was an import, and it's very beautiful. It's very unique. I feel that this plant is definitely coming around a bit more. Even some local greenhouses are getting this plant now. This is what it looks like up close. It's very different and it's really beautiful. And this one has a pretty good amount of leaves as well. Then we have another specimen here, which looks like this. And this also has a really good amount of leaves as well. I did only get 2 of these because I just want to see how they do, if there's any interest. But they are really easygoing plants. They look great amongst your other plants because they're so different. And from my experience, the way that they grow is between like an anthurium and philodendron. Philodendron because they grow kind of fast, but the base of the plant reminds me of an anthurium. So I don't honestly know how to propagate this plant yet. I've never seen any nodes on mine before, and mine is not that big either. So yeah, if you guys have any propagation tips for these, that would be great to know for the future. And for anybody else that's wondering about how to propagate these. So now that we're done with those plants, let's move on to all of the philodendrons. So here we have the Philodendron Bromarx variegated. This one has some really nice variegated leaves, pretty stable variegation as well. This plant is very easy to take care of. It grows really large, really fast on its own, and it grows very bushy. This is a great beginner beginner plant if you're just getting into variegated plants and things like that, because it's not that expensive and it's very easy to take care of. And this is the other specimen that we have as well. Sorry if the leaves are a bit wonky. It was in shipment in a box, so it's gonna take a few days for it to like perk back up. This one is really pretty as well, has some nice genetics too, and some really big leaves. The previous ones that I've got before were really tiny. They were like kind of like seedlings, so you just don't know what you're gonna get, and that's one thing that's tough about being a store if you're ordering your plants in wholesale, like online or whatever. So there's like stock images of what they're going to similarly look like, but not all the time do they look like that. I am happy that these are decent size, and I know that you guys will appreciate this because these go really quickly as well. The next philodendrons I have are these philodendron ring of fires. This is what this one looks like. And talking about sizes again, the last batch I had were actually massive. They were like this big, and then this batch is like this big, and it's just funny because you just don't know, and it's kind of annoying because you're paying the same price regardless of the size. And this is the other one here as well, so they are both similar size, so they are going to go up as the same price. We also have some little seedlings of philodendron white wizard. This is how the first one looks. Look at that all white leaf, you guys, so beautiful. And this is the second one here. These philodendron white wizards are considered the marble variegation. So the leaves have a more marble design than the traditional just like patches of white. So you can see here how the variegation is distributed amongst the leaves. It's very beautiful, and as it matures, it's going to be gorgeous. We also do have the philodendron white princess as well, and these ones are much bigger than the wizards, but they have a different type of variegation, and the princess has a chance to have some pink variegation as well. This half moon leaf right here was the newest leaf, so that is promising. This is the other white princess here, and this one also has some really nice genetics as well. For our last philodendron, we have this giant Paricio Verde, and I only got one of them because I knew how big it was going to be. When we get plants at this size, we do cut them down. You can see that there's tons of aerial roots here, so we do cut them down, and that is just something that I have to do as a store because, like I said, I have to make sure that I always have propagations, and it has to be a little bit easier to ship. I try to strive for small and medium plants to sell just because the shipping can be a nightmare and it can be really expensive. So now that we're done with the philodendrons, let's move on to everybody's favorites, Monsteras. I did get a little bit of a variety of Monsteras this time. So the first one we have is this one here. And as you can see, there is beautiful green and yellow variegation on the leaves. The Aria leaves are just so beautiful, you guys. I love the yellow variegation. So this one does have a new leaf on the way as well. You can kind of see it down here. This one has a little bit of a different variegation pattern, but still beautiful. Then we have this last one here. This leaf right here in particular is gorgeous. Unfortunately, some of the other ones did not make it, or they were already browning before and they were cut. This leaf down here was actually the newest one. So even though some of the leaves are damaged, it's still a beautiful plant, so we'll just have to see. We also did get in some Monstera Adansonii albo as well, and this is what one of the albos look like. The albo has the white and green variegation. They are a bit tiny, but I feel like this is a good size and a more sought out for size when they're this small. And then we have this beautiful specimen right here, and I know you guys are gonna ask me when this is going on the shop, and I hate to break it to you, but I'm actually going to keep this one as a mother plant so that I can keep propping it because the genetics are just way too good to just send it out without me keeping a mother plant. This one does have beautiful half moon leaves. This is like the perfect Adansonii albo that I've always been looking for because I don't have one. And you guys know I am a plant collector myself, so I do have my own collection of plants, but I do use my collection as mother plants for a lot of plants that you guys have actually bought. Half the plants on the shop are wholesale plants, and half of them actually do come from my personal collection as well. I can't wait to grow this one out, cut it down, then I can continue bringing you guys props of this plant all year round, and everybody will just be happy that way. And you guys know, of course, we had to bring back the Monstera albos. So we did get 3 Monstera albos of similar size to this and similar genetics as well. This one is beautiful. It has 4 leaves. And when it comes to the Monstera albos and bigger ties, even if I do have them, they do get cut down to about 2 leaves or 3 leaves max. And I also do provide 1 leaf cuttings as well. So our last plant auction that we did on Instagram, we had about about 10 or more Monstera albos that we auctioned off, and so many people were able to get some. So I was really happy about that. So of course I wanted to make sure I brought back the Monstera albos, but I will be cutting these down. So when these go in the shop, you can expect them to be a bottom cut that's completely rooted, and it most likely will have 1 leaf or 2 leaves. It just depends. And all the plants that I do take bottom cuts of, I do wait until they have a growth point, and that's when I'll list them for sale. So you guys can expect some different size albos on the shop as well. Large ones, medium ones, and small ones. So here is another albo here. This one also has 4 leaves. The variegation is considered medium variegation to the greenhouse. So this is what a medium variegated albo would look like. And then we have this one here, which also has 4 leaves, medium variegation as well. Here's some of the leaves up close so you guys can have a better idea of what the genetics look like. This one is really beautiful too. So that wraps up our little plant shipment haul. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And like I said, next Tuesday, you guys are going to see some behind the scenes of me getting these plants ready for the shop update and everything like that. So just stay tuned for Tuesday's video. It will be a behind the scenes shop vlog, which I know you guys are really loving. So thank you guys so much. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.